$75 million in payouts.
I caught the attention of another education company. They wanted me to come on full time.
You got to refocus. That's why I've had a break. Don't do it if you're prepared to do the work. If you're going to start on the journey, you have to kind of be a bit obsessed a little bit.
People are going out of business, and there are people that are literally scamming people out of money.
We've got something really amazing coming for the whole business, the whole group. Welcome to the Alpha Futures Roundtable. You might not have seen me before. I was around at the start of the business, but I've been away for a little while and I'm now back. So I am one of the owners of Alpha Futures and Alpha Capital Group. I've got a very handsome man to the right of me, Pep Guardiola.
He's a bit busy at the moment.
He's a bit busy at the moment, yeah. We've got Planty, everyone knows Planty, part of the furniture, literally. And then we've got a man that we met through Alpha Capital Group when he was getting a load of payouts, being a great trader as he so is, and now heads up Alpha Futures for us as well. So, because I don't know anything about anything at the moment, I think I've still got, Alpha Futures, I'm going to hand it over to Ben to let him lead the way, what we've been up to.
Appreciate it, Alex. So anybody that's traded with Alpha Futures definitely knows me by now. Very active in the Discord with you guys. I'm looking forward to getting Alex in there more too. But most people, they make the immediate assumption that I might be an owner. I'm not. I am the COO of Alpha Futures, so I did a lot of the product build, take care of our traders day to day. But just to be clear, I'm not part of the ownership group.
So that then means I'm going to get a load of comments going, come on, give him a share.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. He's forward pacing. Very smart. Good smart move. He's not bad for a Canadian, is he?
So I was just telling Alex, we did an event for Alpha Cap and kind of introduction to Alpha Futures where all of us except this guy were there. He missed it, but that's what somebody said when they walked in the room. They didn't know East Coast accent versus Canadian. Somebody asked, you Canadian? I almost blew a gasket right there. Absolutely not. I grew up in Boston. That might be a little bit what people are hearing,
We do welcome Canadians, just to put it out
Yeah, I'm
there.
just not one.
Just because he doesn't like you, doesn't mean that we don't, all right? The British and the Canadians have got a good relationship.
Yeah, like I said before, if you didn't have us, you'd be speaking German.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But now we're going to lose loads of customers.
I see all the lights going out in it.
But no, overall, the launch has been great. I am really looking forward to getting Alex back in the community and stuff. Obviously, he's handled everything at Cap, and, Alpha Futures are really ready to turn up the dial. The launch has gone incredibly well. We're filming this in early December. We launched in July. We've done, over 300K in payouts in that time already. That is money paid to traders, not just requested amounts with the profit split and whatnot. With requested amounts, actually closer to over 400,000 now. And obviously the profit split. Largest payout so far, just shy of 26,000 this week. That was just this week. My man Bryce, we just shot another video about him.
Yeah, I know Bryce.
Yeah? He came from the Forex space.
The motocross thing on
I haven't got to, I'm trying to get him. No, he just has a bullish Bryce
Bryce is like
photo there.
In America is like calling you John, isn't it? Everyone.
He is in the U.S.
Bryce.
Yeah, he is in the U.S.
It's Chad's brother.
Plenty, is it, John?
Yeah, 25,000 and something he noted right away, which I've been obsessed with operationally. And I've talked about this with Planty too, is just getting traders paid as quickly as possible. And if, everybody's actually been paid same day so far at futures. Of course, I want to keep that up as we scale and stuff. Obviously, it gets tougher the bigger you get. But if you're not paid out within 24 hours, we will at least be talking with you, because most of my payouts in futures firms have been somewhere between the 11 and 13 day
Which is ridiculous.
mark, which I just don't enjoy as a trader. So I've been obsessed with getting people paid the same
12,
day.
13 days.
Yep.
But it's actually funny looking at your Discord with people shocked how quick they're getting paid. We get all this backlog on social media, don't we, where everyone's whinging and moaning, and actually we are a proper player and actually really at the top of the tree in this.
I think that, the beauty of what we've done with Alpha Capital Group on this sort of CFD side of things is that we've grew it to a point where, like I say, we've done, as I mentioned it earlier, we've done $75 million in payouts. We will do 100 million by probably middle of Q1 to end of
People
Q1.
just hear that as numbers now. And that's just so
$75
significant.
million.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
massively significant. We've had so many great success stories. However, with every business that you build and you launch with great success stories, also comes areas of the business where I look back on now, when we've had Alpha Capital Group as a functioning, successful, one of the, well, definitely top three or four largest prop firms in the industry. When you look back, there's so many things that maybe well, definitely we would have done differently as the three of us, me, George and Drew, which we can see now on futures. And it's like you mentioned the payout side of things. And, you know, I guarantee that these other futures firms, why they've had 12 to 13 days on payout, so that's the norm in the industry, is because they haven't put their attention on ensuring that that process from the start of the business has been effective. That's a couple of conversations we've had. One thing that we have to do as we scale and grow this business is make sure that that area of the business is, you know,
Stays firm.
Firm. It's operationally well, but rather than focusing on, you know, when we first launched Alpha Cap, the main thing for me and the rest of the guys are right. Let's grow this business. Let's get revenue. Let's make it to the top. And how quick can we make it to the top? And we did a lot of hard work. But what I see with futures and what you've done phenomenally well, and George on the back end as well, and the team that we work with, the tech team, so on and so forth, is that, you know, it's been step by step, slow and steady, but already there's been conversations where it's like, right, okay, like you just said, we need to keep, the great thing about, or one of many great things about Alpha Futures is that payout time and how successful that is. But we must, if that's something that people are loving at the moment, that's where we have to put our energy. Because again, when we started Alpha Cap, it was, how do we get a regulation on a broker? How do we do this? We were kind of here before when we started. So with this, it's a little bit more slow and steady on the growth. But you know, we know what needs to be built upon to what clients like. And that's why I'm now can't wait to join you now and bring my strengths into it, to be one of the forefronts to just drive it. But operationally, you know, we are very, very strong because we haven't grown too quickly. We know what it's like to take a business from $400,000, $500,000 a month revenue to your first stop, which is $1 million, $1.5 million, then your next stop, 5, 10, you know what I mean? All the way up to $10 million. We would not make the same, I wouldn't say mistakes, but there are mistakes in a sense with Alpha Futures than we have with Cap.
Yeah, but it's like I say, it's scalable, and you know where the hurdles are.
We know where the hurdles are already. So for you, as a guy that, you know, is very smart, switched on, knows your numbers, knows what the clients want, we've got that foundation now for this last 6 months, and now we just need to put a bit of bells and whistles on, you know.
Yeah, I mean the payout thing's great.
Employ a clown like me, and then away we go. You know?
What's the biggest thing you've learnt from Capital going over the futures that you're going to bring over?
I think, great question, yeah. But let's have it right. Like even the prop space in general, like a lot of owners of the firms, a lot of the marketing team, they're boring, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to sit in a desk with, you know, we used to work in the city, Planty and I. We used to work for a stockbrokers. Planty's obviously got loads of years in investment banks, so on and so forth. But, you know, there's most people that I meet that run these other firms, or that, not every firm, not slagging you all off. But, you know, I definitely wouldn't want to sit on a desk and have a bit of banter with them because they've got no personality.
Ben and I were saying on the last video, it's like, from doing those outtakes and stuff, there was a couple having a good laugh, weren't there? And we're saying, you're doing something professional here, you're trying to be serious, but you've got to have downtime.
You've got to have a laugh.
You've got to have a laugh at downtime. And there's so much of time spent at banks, it's not all full on 100%. It is literally living a bit of life, having a laugh.
They have the fun, but then you've got to have your fun. Because if you don't let steam off, then you're just going to be, as probably some of you are, locked up in your bedroom with no, you know, you sit around your friend's house or you sit around your family's house and you're talking about the S&P and cable, and people are like, listen,
fucking boring.
I don't want to talk about that, first of all, but also at least you can do, like, what I want to bring to Alpha Futures and what I want to bring to the future space, kind of what we did with the Cap space, the Discord, and I know people work and haven't got time, but to have a bit more competition, have fun with it, you know what I mean? If you're making, like Ben is, a successful futures trader, you know, tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, regardless of what you do, regardless of what profession you do, you want to have a bit of personality, you want to have a bit of laugh with it. Or what's the point?
Yeah, trading's already so frustrating and like mentally taxing that, you know, that's why I'm a big proponent even of, a lot of people love to shit on trading discords and stuff. And I was like, hey, if you get something out of it community-wise and you're learning along the way, keep doing it. It's worth that subscription every month, whatever you're paying for it. I've been a huge proponent for that. But it's network.
Unfortunately, with the game that we all play or have played, when it is online and you trade from home, you know, and if you don't have people in your neighborhood, or you don't, look at me using the American words now, in your neighborhood or street, as we say in the UK, you know, or your network that do trading, well, where are you going to find people first of all, you want to learn to trust people and have that sort of environment where you can befriend people, you can have fun in doing it, you can talk about cool topics, and you can have.
You've got this whole gambling thing in front of the politicians again, haven't you? And how much money they're allowing online slot machines to go, and they're messing around with. Oh well, as long as they're only doing it every 10 milliseconds instead of every 5, then that's all right. And you sat online on your own, blowing your world up.
Yeah.
At least, there's safeguards in place with our firms, and also you've got a community to talk shit through.
That's why the events are so important that Alpha put on. I mean, I get loads of value out of that. Meet other traders, good speakers.
And if you haven't seen that, if you go over to Alpha Capital Group's YouTube channel, which is this. Oh, no, it's not. Wait there, I'll show you.
Pep's got it on. Pep's got it on.
There you go.
I was going to introduce new merchandise. We'll do that in a bit. Yeah. Our beautiful model to the right here with the Alpha Capital. We need to and we must, and that's what I'm going to bring to the table, and I can't wait to spend some time in the US with you next year, or Canada,
I'm a
wherever
little scared,
you are.
I'm a little nervous.
If they let me in, obviously. Absolutely. Or if they let me back after the first event. But I really want to put on some really cool events. Trading competitions. We have a plan for what we try and do in the UK, which we can't see yet, which would be in New York. That's where we want to do it. So we've got that plan over the next 12 to 18 months, but I'm sure we'll do it quicker now. I'm working on this side of the business with Ben, but I want to bring some personality and life over to America I'm not saying America, because America's got a lot of life over there.
It's the right time.
It's dependent if you're on the East Coast and West Coast. If you're in LA, you've got a lot of life, But, it's, or Miami, East Coast. But, we want to bring that. You are valued traders. Yeah. You can talk to us. We are accessible. And you'll see, like Ben said, not an owner, but a massive part of the business. Accessible, plenty accessible. Pep accessible. Me as an owner of the business, I think, if I've still got it on.
Yeah,
I want to check company's house, but if I'm still registered as a third owner of the business, I'll check. But we want to bring that personality to the table. Yeah. We want to do things differently. We've built the foundations. We know what we need to strengthen up as we scale, so we're there now. But more importantly for me, it's like, how do we add a bit of fun to this? Not everyone likes fun. People might be looking and thinking, look at that English geezer, like, he ain't got a clue. You know what I mean?
Lunatic,
but that's fine, it's not for you. But there will be people sitting there that are trading in the futures market. And on a Friday night, if your missus is annoying you, your kids are screaming, you just want to have a bit of fun, don't you? You want to talk and, connect, and we've got to do all that and put some really good events on. We've got some big plans. We're going to do 2, looking at the cameraman here because he's going to have to come to America with us again. But, to put on 2 or 3 big events next year. I think first event will be something cool where we can maybe get a guest speaker, either from the UK or from the US through our contacts, through Drew, who obviously runs a financial institution here in the UK, but also through Planty. Planty's got a few tricks up your sleeve, hasn't he? Yeah. Not just an old dog. I mean, he has worked at the UBS Investment Bank, and he is only 27. That's what banking does to you.
That's it, 27 for 30 years.
And now he's a futures trader. He's like Benjamin Button.
And I've got no sleeves. I've got one of those special jackets with no sleeves.
Straight jacket. But on a serious note, bringing these events and really bring the connect, because again, just no one's doing it. No one's doing it out there.
And that's how originally, which ownership group, credit to them, they pretty much handed me, like, go build the product. Yeah. Like, hey, operational. I come from an engineering background.
He's a smart one.
Yeah. So, I mean, Alex, George, and Drew pretty much trusted me, like, hey, you've been a consumer in the space for as long as Alpha Cap has been open. You understand futures, you understand Forex, you understand what people want.
And without mentioning any names, you're on some of the top leaderboards for trading futures, so you understand futures.
Like, hey, trading's been a passion of mine for a while. Prop firms are really how I was able to get ahead in life and
pay your student debt off.
Yeah, pay my student debt off.
Do you know what? I've said this, and you've probably seen it already, and I'm sure the futures guys know.
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm not. This isn't a sales pitch, by the way. This is not. Come and buy futures challenges and pay your debt off. But credit to you, a lot of people. I just got a song on my head, but I'm not going to sing it. But a lot of people would have been like, right, how do I pay my student debt off? And as you know, with engineering or any walk of life, it does take a bit of time to start making some good money. Yep. You got taxes and stuff like that. Not that you haven't got taxes on the futures, IRS, if you're watching. But it's a credit to you that you've actually sat down as an engineer, which means it First of all, you're smart, you're structured, you're disciplined, and he's found a way to purchase prop trading accounts and pay your student debt off.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
particularly
that is-
with your story of having done it with real money and lost it, a lot of people would have crumbled. I mean,
Yeah,
this
of
is
course.
Yeah,
you've
trade. That's
built
what I mean.
yourself back up.
Trading
How long
itself.
did that take you,
that's-
Ben, that period to pay off your debt? How was it over 9 months? Was it?
No, it was a little bit. It was a
Got
little bit
long on
longer
Wall
than
Street
that.
and just did it overnight. It was fantastic.
No, it was a little bit longer than that. It was like 13 months
Okay.
from when I like really picked up prop trading to doing 6 figures in payouts, and I used that 6 figures to pay off the debt.
But that's one thing that got me excited about you, because I'm like, look,
Yeah.
you know, whatever you do in life, and I've said this on another thing earlier today for Alpha Cap. That's not my name, by the way. That's not my signature either. But Alpha Cap is that, you know, to be a good trader, and I'm sure a lot of futures traders will get this, yes, you need discipline, but you need resilience. If you have not got resilience, then, or,
Bounce back ability.
as
the
they
old
say
classic.
in English, a pair of bollocks, you're not going to succeed. And that's what really attracted for you to come when I was saying to the guys, listen, I've got someone that can head up this
That's
firm.
probably the most important thing you said so
Yeah.
far. 13 months. That is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
our industry's about. If you've got to survive,
Yeah, of course.
you've got to build. You've got to build a
But
foundation.
also,
It's-
he took it upon himself to say, right, here's a route to market, the hardest route, like trading is. It's a hard route. You could have been, and let's have it right, you could have just gone and been an engineer.
Yeah, trading
that
is
I'm
way
dissing
harder.
Elon Musk,
no,
but, you
no,
know.
but that's what I said. I got 2 engineering degrees. I got my master's in engineering too, and I still swear by trading being way harder than being an engineer.
Here's your medal.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? And now I don't do anything with them anymore, except what I was going to say was like the obsession with smooth operations, which I think George and I align a ton on. But I mean, you were who pulled me into Alpha
Yeah,
Cap
of course.
originally, was that personality and building trust with you in particular.
100%.
But it was like George, you guys allowed me and George really just obsess
But I
on
think
operations.
you and George are very, like, George, my business partner, love him to death, knew him for a long time, as well as Drew. But, you know, you and George are very similar. You know, really smart, but not as handsome and as personal as me.
Not at all.
Or Planty.
There you go.
Yeah, could have had a haircut.
Remember when I
Planty.
had hair? Remember that?
Yeah. But, you know, what a great thing is when I found Ben, and obviously Ben's talent with Alpha Capital when we first started. You know, there was, again, we've learned so much, but we've had to bring certain people into Alpha Capital to support operations, to understand certain operations, especially on the back end when it comes to trading, especially on the infrastructure, especially on, because we build up just, I think everyone should know, but everything we've done for Alpha Cap and Alpha Futures has been internal. So we've built our own tech. That's took time, trial and error. But what a better way of having someone that's a great trader,
Yep.
and that is smart, like George is, you know, coming from that background, so just run another pair of eyes over it, because if I run another pair of eyes over it, yeah, George is fine. That's cool. But I think that's a good balance. But I think going back to that, you know, what I wanted to find out today, which has been great, because Ben flew over from San Diego yesterday, and he's here to enjoy a bit of London, and to enjoy a little trip to Winter Wonderland. If you've ever been there, it's in Hyde Park, great place to go. They're not sponsoring this podcast, but I thought I'd just give you a heads up.
Free ads.
But, you know, given it's Christmas time, what kind of success stories have you heard? Because we in Alpha Capital, I have one of the most proudest moments I've had doing this business is people that have come from nothing, made money doing it, or single mothers made money. I mentioned it before. There's a guy called, I'm sure he doesn't mind me shouting it out, there's a guy called Five, who's he's basically become an influencer through it now, but he went to prison, came out, he did a podcast with us, and now he's making money trading, and it's a full-time gig. So you hear all these remarkable stories, which, like we said when we met, shows resilience, shows discipline, and shows dedication. I mean, has there been many? I know it's only been a little while, but is there anything that stood out from you? And in Discord, I'm guessing we've got a payout-proof section.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's some amazing ones in there. Like I said, I was like, I don't want to choose favorites, but the one that I'm always like, look at this. 20-year-old kid from Australia has taken one evaluation with us.
Where's he from?
Australia.
Could you try an Australian accent for the camera?
Pass.
Good day, mate.
20-year-old kid purchased one evaluation, which is $79. He's now done $15,000 worth of payouts with us. So like the power of turning less than $100 into $15,000, insane. And that's why I got so connected with prop firms, right? I used it to get out of a ton of debt for not putting up much capital at the start. It was the power I saw them as a possibility of having. Not every trader wins, But understand, like, if you're a retail trader and not trading prop firms, I have to ask, what are you doing? Unless you have a ton of capital to trade yourself, more power to you. I didn't have that, like we talked about. I mean,
you lost it.
Yeah, exactly. As I say, I was like, I had that, blew it, and that's why I got into
People are
prop
going to
firms.
listen to that and go, oh, yeah, but he's gambled it up. How did he do it?
Yeah, how's
You
he
can't
trade?
really
How many
gamble
trades was it over?
$79 to 15
No,
grand.
no, I'm
He
saying,
can, but
how did it go?
Right, so I mean, he's mostly trading NQ and ES. Those are the two most popular, NQ being number one in the future space. That is the most popular. But he's actually mostly trading. I loved getting to talk with him because he's mostly trading the Asian session, which I suck
Wow.
at.
Oh,
I suck at. So I really enjoyed talking with him because it was a different perspective.
different time zones as well, isn't it?
Yep, exactly. And that's, I mean, like, I don't trade the low volume hours well at all. Like, pretty much.
What got a 20-year-old into futures trading though, from Australia?
So he was a Forex guy with Alpha Cap. We launched
so he-
futures, and he's come over to us, which...
At least I've done something right.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. He's one of those people, though, that I've loved here because, like, I'm biased towards futures, obviously, compared to Forex.
No,
But
that's
he's
because your
somebody-
company doesn't let you trade it.
Right,
That's
right. But he's somebody, you know what I mean? He has
Yeah,
access to both, and he was like, I get the futures hype now. You know what I mean? He's like, the price action is typically a bit cleaner on indexes. The fills are a lot better.
What's
You
the
know,
biggest thing
the
to
leverage.
transition from prop to futures? That
It's
people
just
need to
learning your
take into-
contracts. That's
Okay.
what I think people overcomplicate it, right? The same way you had to learn your lot sizes, you have to learn your contract size. The learning curve is going to be the same on both, in my opinion. You need probably 3 months of figuring it out and studying before you're going
Well, that's
to
just,
know what you're doing.
You just hit the nail on the head. So I was having a conversation, again, prior to this, and I said, like, you know, there's no point of, and you see it all the time, people come in, they're not resilient because they quit. They keep buying loads of challenges. You know,
Do the same old thing.
They do the same old thing. And I said earlier, there's three things, right? There's skill, there's knowledge, and there's psychology. Now, to transition to futures from a CFD or FX background, you're going to have to work on all three of them. The issue is people are not really prepared or disciplined enough or prepared to feel to be successful, not just at futures, at FX, but at futures as well. They'll go, I've had a try, it's crap, I'm not this shit, I'm not doing it, I'm going back to work at Denny's. Do you know what I mean? That's the bottom line.
Do you have Denny's in the UK?
No, I'm just, listen.
Is that a US thing?
I'm
only?
improvising
Yeah,
here. I'm improvising.
I just didn't know.
You know, I didn't
Alexander
look.
franchise.
I watched
Connecting,
the
yeah.
Santa Claus. I watched the Santa Claus the other night. That's why I remember
Connecting with the US audience.
with Tim
there you
Allen. I
go.
watched the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. It was Denny's, so I just flashed it. But that's what I'm saying. So I think like that young guy, 20 years old, great, like this done, paid $79, got 15 grand.
Yeah.
He's obviously worked on his skill set. He spent time on that. He spent time on working on his knowledge of the market and of the futures product itself and the rules of the futures product because it's completely different to AlphaCap. And he's obviously good with his psychology. All three of those things he's now got together, worked on, improved, and is becoming successful.
Yep.
Because if you can make money in FX, you definitely can make money in futures. Like just how it's set up, you just need to learn it.
Life-changing money for a 20-year-old as well.
Exactly.
I mean, you can do so
And
much with that.
Yeah, I got into trading at 22, maybe right before I turned 22. But I wasn't making money until I was probably 24, you know? I didn't figure it out. So like the fact that he's figured it out so young is really cool. So that is definitely one of my favorites. I mean, all of our success stories are amazing, but the fact that he just shows the power you have of one evaluation turning in that kind of money is insane.
Now he's pulling up to college in his Rolls Royce.
I know, right? Yeah. So that was amazing to see. But one of my other favorites, he does go by just an alias, so I won't say his name. He goes by Trader John. But
Trader
he's-
John? No, I'm a joke.
Okay, I was like,
He's not Bryce's friend, is he?
no. So that's it. He goes by Trader John. I just want to respect his privacy there. But he's mid-50s, and he's done 8 payouts with us, which was awesome to see the other side of the coin, that somebody that probably has no idea what this online prop firm space is. Like, I feel like everybody in their
I'm over
20s
here.
and
No
30s.
offense.
Yeah.
No offense, Planty, yeah?
But you know what I mean? Like, Planty at some point was probably like, what is all this about? Like, what is all this? You know what I
That's
mean?
Chrome, Planty.
Yeah.
That's Safari.
Does he have to pedal?
But that was awesome to see that. I was like, all right, cool. Like, people of all ages are recognizing the power this has. Because again, I said, like, any retail trader should really be considering trading with props. He's done 7 or 8 payouts with us now, though, over $26,000. He spent well under that on challenges, not just one, like that guy Andy, but, you know, a few $100s in challenges with us. again, we obviously don't penalize anybody that's failed some challenges.
Do you know what?
That's
That's
cool.
what I said before, though. Like, all prop trading is futures, FX, whatever you're doing. Money in versus money out.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's why I
So
said
if
it's
you
not
do have to
failure,
do
it isn't failure,
30,
it's
40
learning.
challenges because of your trading style, then you hit 120k payouts, irrelevant anyway. But you'll only know that throughout. But I think, yeah, like you say, the difference in, you know, a 50-year-old guy that's just trading or still trading or just learned a new skill,
Yeah.
getting 8 payouts, fantastic, than a 20-year-old guy that's doing so well. And that's the thing, like the demographic, I think, is a lot younger because...
That's all I meant, planning.
Yeah. No, but the sad thing is, though, you get, and I've seen it before, you get a lot of retirees that go, I want to be a day trader. So they're sitting, they're retired, they're on a pension, and they want to learn the day trading game. So they go and spend like 20 to 50 grand on courses. They learn a little bit, and then they go, right, I'm ready. And then they put like 50 grand in a trading account, boom, lost it, they'll never touch it again.
Yep.
So it's like two demographics. It's like, you know, if you are a little bit older watching this and you are interested in getting into trading, or you do a bit of trading, but want to do more of it, do some prop challenges because you don't mind losing $80, do you?
Right, it's a great way to control risk. That's why I looked at it. And like you said, money in, money out. I talked about this for hours on end with Riz and other podcasts at this point, but I was like, the reason why with personal money, like I said, I grew it up over 6 figures, lost it all. I could never get into the mindset of treating it as a business. No. Prop firm industry is obviously a business on our side as a company and the trader side. It's all about just like, hey, you have limited your risk because it's, you know, a monthly subscription with futures. You know exactly what your costs are each month. You know, you got to make more than that. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
No, of course. And you can walk away when you breach a challenge and you know, some people might get a bit aggressive. Seen it before, done it before. You might punch the screen, you might kick the thing. But if you punch the screen, kick the thing and lost $80 and you can go out with your friends or you can go and see your family or you can go out with your girlfriend and it's like, I lost $80. But if you lose 80 grand or you lose 8 grand,
trouble.
or I'm sure some of you have done it, lost your student loan money to trading.
But
then,
even if you
it does happens, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what I mean. You lose your student loan money. There was a story, actually, I'll let George tell you. I'll keep George's privacy. George Kohler, owns Alpha. But I know he did it when he was younger. He took some money of his student loan and he had to ring his dad the next day and said, I've done it on the S&P. You know, so... But that
keep
does,
yourself accountable, don't you?
But that does happen, and also it happens...
It's more so as well, the fact if you do pass these challenges and you've got access to the leverage and the high value accounts, 150s, you know, you've got 3 of them, 450 grand of capital, the psychology of losing that, yeah, it's disappointing, but the way back in is not impossible. And
right.
It's not
it's
impossible.
not killing
and if
your
you
life,
do
it's not ending your life.
And also, if you do, let's say you did 4 or 5 challenges in a month, right? You've had a really bad month, as people do, and you think, you know what, I ain't doing this again I'm having a month off. I'm going to go on holiday. You know what I mean? I'm going to start spending some time with my kids because I'm not looking at the market all night. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could actually have that time, whereas if you're offside on a trade and you go, oh, actually, I'm not worried about stop loss, I'll just hold on to it. And then you're in a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? And you can't sleep, and it gets where this, you can really discipline yourself and do well. But again, going back to the point, the younger demographic, you know, why aren't they learning the CFD, FX prop side, and the futures prop side? It goes back on that knowledge, skill, psychology. Get your knowledge, get your skill set. You've got an opportunity right now to go and learn different things, and it's so accessible. It's so accessible.
Does Alpha Futures offer support and knowledge? What's that look like at the moment?
He's about 5'7". That'll be even better. 5'9".
Yeah, there you go. Jeez.
Yeah, 5'9". Sorry, with them platforms on. About 5'9". Tom Cruise here to the left, from Canada. But no, on a serious note, there is a big plan. I mentioned to Ben today, and I mentioned to you now. We are going to be launching Alpha Education. Plenty, Ben, you, a couple more people. That will be we won't be charging for it, but we will be doing something with that to educate people. Because I think it's important, but not being funny. Stop being lazy. Get on YouTube, learn how to do it, and get
The resource out there at the moment is...
Yeah, I say, I mean, I've already, with these guys here at the studio, I've already done, you know, several hours worth of YouTube education stuff that I'm happy to hear feedback from, you know, people.
You got to get in the field,
FX.
though. There's no point in getting in the field with £1,000 and then losing it when you can just go, right, let's just do $80 and see how I get on. But this, you can't, I really believe that you can't, I believe trading can become a part-time. This is my personal
What is it
humble
the kids
opinion.
call it? The side hustles, isn't it?
The side hustle. My personal opinion is this can be. It can be anything you want it to be. That's the bottom line. It can be paying your student loan debt off. It can be becoming highly successful, because it's not for anyone to tell you that you can't be that person. Like, if you're going to be that person, go and be that person. But, I think people that come in think, you see it, and I hear it. Oh, this trading stuff. I want to get into this trading stuff. I don't know why I put Yorkshire accent on, but... Oh my God, man! These trade now.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good for a Canadian. But this trading stuff. Like, if you're going to start on the journey, my personal opinion, like anything you do, if you play sport or you do anything, then you have to kind of be a bit obsessed a little bit, to learning it. Once you learn it, the skill set will stick with you. You don't have to trade for 2 or 3 months. Yes, you might need to get back into what the price action's doing. You might need to see what's going on in the market and the wider spectrum globally. But you've always got the skill set. You're not going to lose it.
Yeah, and you can focus on one instrument.
But you can't part-time a skill set. If you're going to go be an engineer, you can't part-time your master's degree and expect to pass it and be successful. A boxing match and not
having done the training.
Not having done the training. You've got to do the training because someone else wants to be a champion. So if you want to be a champion yourself, you've got to leave it all on the table. So don't do it. This is my opinion anyway. Don't do it if you're prepared to do the work, and that is work. And if you've got kids and you've got family, you still have to, I haven't got the time, we'll stop buying challenges then. You've got to do the work.
Half-ass trading.
And if you're a young guy or a young girl, because you get told off for saying that these days.
There's a young girl that's come through, being on my chat regularly. And
does his wife know?
I know, but she's done exactly the same, knuckled down, given up a job because she's got herself 7-figure funded. Absolutely brilliant.
Is that the girl who got paid out?
Possibly.
Well, on the podcast.
No, not her. Someone different. Yes. So you've had people come from being a landlady, and we've done a fantastic
kids,
proper
single
payouts,
mum, single dad,
payouts.
Engineers, people that work, but they are prepared. The difference is failure. People aren't prepared to quit. People don't do all the money. There's no get rich quick here.
No, not at all. And that's what, honestly, when I set out for trading, I always intended to do engineering full-time, trade part-time, and then it just turned out I built the skill set to the point that I caught the attention of another education company. They wanted me to come on full-time. Then I traded so well with prop firms, I caught their eye, and they were like, why don't you come over here?
And I thought, listen, come work with me.
Get on the payroll.
Seriously, that's how it went. But then even this year with launch and everything, I was so busy. I took 3 months off from trading. I just couldn't. I didn't have the time in my schedule. Since coming back the second half of the year, that's actually when I made, I guess we said the big board though at those you see it floating around on Twitter. My name is on there.
You can mention it.
Second half, Top Steps big board. You know what I mean? I've been on it second half of the year.
You can pay me later. Invoice me, Alexander at Alpha.
But you know what I mean? That was after taking 3 months off though, like you said.
But you've learned that skill set. You become,
that was years of work put into it.
But any support,
why you should have a break sometimes.
Yeah,
absolutely. Just refocus. And
you got to refocus. I mean, that's why I've had a break, because you got to realise, like, if you're doing anything to an extent. And there's probably traders watching this that feel like they're banging their head against a brick wall. And sometimes people can be too resilient for their own good. Like, I'm like that. Like, nah, I'm fine. I keep going. Just, if you feel like it's a little bit too much, just have a little pause, revisit the skill, knowledge, and psychology thing. But sometimes all you need is a couple of weeks off. Like, how many times if people go to the gym or whatever, how many times you go to the gym and it's like, and then you have like 2 weeks off and you go back, and you're just stronger, faster, more athletic.
Because your body's built, and that's you're building your mindset.
Because you've rested, you've rested.
Is that the longest break you've had? 3 months?
From trading since I picked it up, for sure. And it wasn't even because, I wanted to. It's because we were so busy getting ready for launch and stuff. Like, I was honestly itching to get back to trading. But, you know what I mean? I knew this was my priority at the time. It still is, of course, but I mean, every 30 seconds of my day was the priority of taking care of the business.
The beauty thing is, it's like, I don't want to say this to too many of the support staff, obviously, because you get messages every second, but you can't, no matter what you can do, if you learn this skill set, and I'm not saying that you learn the skill set, you become a great trader, because, again, you need the skill, you need the knowledge, and you need the psychology. If you don't have one of them 3 things, then you're going to be in trouble. But I think that's in anything you do. Anything you do. But, it is like you can do this around what you're doing. But, I really like, from what I've seen, now I'm back and getting back into it, I really do like the futures the way of the futures. And I think for us now, having that, I'm excited for 2025 because we've built such a great foundation. We know what, because of us running obviously a top 5 prop firm in the world for FX, your knowledge as a trader of that market and understanding of the futures market in general, because obviously we're in the UK, so even Drew, he runs a stockbrokers in the UK, there's not much futures trading going on there. It's not a big thing, is it, Planty? Well, it is, but it's not.
No, but most of people, even the retail, if they go onto an IG or a City, they'll go and play CFDs.
Of course.
They'll stay away from the futures.
I mean, even IG used to have
it's
to.
got this gloss
You can trade the futures contract with CFD.
but you'll stay away from
But
it.
you used to have to call through any options of futures.
And we haven't really talked about the beauty of the product and the space. You're only dealing in day trading and the front month contracts. So all the nasties you've got to deal with. So it's not even, it's demystified and it's decomplicated. So it's an absolutely brilliant product. And then the pricing's much better.
Price action. And then
price action, you can trade just off the price. I was talking to Ben earlier about using the DOM, the depth of market.
Yeah.
Whereas it looks like it's made up in CFD world.
Yeah.
This is actual proper reflection of the trades. And you can physically, this is how you should be trading a market. You don't need a chart really. You should be able to look at the price action and see the volume, and you can see where it's all.
And that's the beauty of them.
It's beautiful.
How much money do you see people make just on CFDs doing it? Never mind futures, but
Yeah.
them low volume days in the market where you just get that range and
So much information.
You're playing it. You're playing it because you know what's there.
But you gave me an account to mess around with in the early days, and I couldn't believe
Failed it.
I thought it was
Still paying his student debt off. He's 60.
I thought there's no point paying that because Alex won't pay me out. But they just operationally, it's just fantastic. The logistics of it, it's so good. And I had a little look at other people in the market that you'd said you'd taken bits from. And it's just like, it's such a beautiful combination. And every firm's going to tell you they've got the best product. This really is. I mean,
Project X
is
has
absolutely fantastic.
done it amazing. And we already mentioned Top Step, but Project X also works with Top Step X. People know that in the space. Alpha Tix is by the same provider. They've done a phenomenal job. They truly, they're former prop traders themselves. They've been on executive boards at prop firms. Like, they truly built this knowing exactly what prop firm traders are looking
And
for.
what have we got coming next week?
We got Tradeovate and Ninja on the way, which great thing is, I was going to talk about next is that path to live. That's what we want to see success stories next. So I am a live funded trader with other firms. That's usually the progression for the people that typically do very well at firms. They get you on live funds. That's one of the best differences, in my opinion, between the FX space and CFDs and futures is because, first of all, it's sustainable for the firm, but it's rewarding people that have gotten to a professional level of being a prop trader, giving them the feel of a career on the back end of traditional prop firms. That was always what I started to play through in my head when I picked up prop trading. I was like, I think I could do this professionally. 100%. I think I can get there. And now at this point, I am obviously live funded trader elsewhere.
What's amazing, because I can't release anything now because Drew and George will kill me. But we've got something really amazing coming for the whole business, the whole group, which we can't announce yet, but it is that traditional prop stuff, which is great. And that path to live, we will have the best path to live in the industry next year.
That's it. And that's what I said to you guys when you were bringing me on. You're like, okay, what do you want to see from a futures firm? I was like, here's what I've got product-wise. I think this is fair to the customer and the firm. Of course, I made some tweaks.
So blame him if you don't think it's fair.
But obviously, I made some tweaks that I was like, this is better for the trader. And of course, I didn't want to put ownership in a bad position. There was some give and take there. But my thing was like, hey, what I want out of being a live prop trader at this point is some improvements to that path to live, and that's what we're excited about doing.
This is the thing. Like, people might not get this, but what we're going to try and achieve with our path to live, which we will achieve because we've got, it's not just us. We've got a lot of contacts in London. We've got 2 people that's going to be helping us, or 2 organisations that's going to be helping us with path to live. But the beautiful thing about sort of what we're looking to achieve of all of it is to give people the opportunity that people don't realise, and plenty you realise, obviously, and you guys do now as well, but there's massive trading floors, not just in banks, that are just funds that have been set up that people sit there all day from all ages, 20 to 50. If you're still trading over 55 on a trading desk, you're probably not a good trader. But on a serious note, like you got people trading multi-millions of pounds on the daily from in prop firms, and they get to work through this exactly the same setup. There's no difference.
Yep.
And I think we're doing our best to align ourselves with the right people, which we've done. And next year is going to be exciting.
What can you tell us about next year?
All I can tell you for next year is
give us something away.
Give something away for next year.
What can the people expect?
Excitement, mate. It's going to be exciting next year. Do you know what it's going to be? And I've always said this, and me and my two business partners have well, not so much my two, one of them, George. I love George. George, sorry. But, you know, we want to build this corporate because we have bigger plans, as you know, of what we want to do. But you don't want to take the fun out of it. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't 1990s Wall Street, you know? Well, thank God it isn't. But you want to have the corporate structure where people can go and succeed on that path to life or wherever we are. But we also want to have fun with it. So that's what you can expect next year.
I think there's a serious point, isn't there? Because we're in a point on the prop side where everyone is people are going out of business, and there are people that are literally scamming people out of money.
Yeah.
And whenever we've gone through the rigorous way of looking at people who've not been playing by the rules, you don't get paid out, and we get called scammers on X. How on earth can we be if we're going out doing something like this? We're actually literally doing what it says on the tin. We're making people become funded and traded.
What I love about
we want you to succeed. People say that's a throwaway comment, but we're actually proving that it's
listen, we don't. The bottom line is like the futures side and the prop side. The great thing about futures is that, and we had this conversation just sitting down there before, is that not everyone can get involved now. Like with the big names you've just mentioned there that we're looking to work with, you know, there's a lot harder route to market because of all these scammers that have gone on. But it's the same thing with the prop side. You know, there was a massively easy route to market for a long time. That route to market isn't there no more. You know, and again, I've said this a million times. You will have to own your own broker. And that broker will need to be regulated to run a CFD prop, an FX prop. And that's what we've done. We did that with Alpha Cap, we did that with futures. And also we've had conversations about, not futures, sorry, Alpha Cap, but of what we want to do with futures as well. And we're getting guided by the leaders of the industry over in the US.
That's kind of the really nice thing about the future space too, right? Anybody that's not familiar. So Tradeovate and Ninja are regulated brokers. That's why it's a big deal. We're adding them next week. CME has kind of worked with Tradeovate and Ninja to make sure I don't want to put a label on them they disagree with, but they are very much in line with CME regulations.
Yeah.
So if we are able to work with them, we're doing something right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we always want to make sure we're in good standing with those companies as well as the CME. So that's the nice thing there, because I agree with Alex. Again, why I was drawn towards you guys is when you guys were working on the regulated broker and everything. Even if me trading CFDs, I wasn't actually using that broker, just knowing you guys had the institutional background. Because that's what I lack. I had the skill, I had the knowledge, I had the psychology as a trader. As far as running a business, though, I didn't have the financial professional background that you guys have. That's what I told George and you guys when I came on. I was like, 5 years from now, I want to be doing all that because I've put myself in a room with all the people that have the institutional background.
You know what?
That's what I want out of futures.
It is like what I've realized with running the business, and you need more than one key to open a door. Like me, probably each one of us around this table, like everyone's got a different skill set. I can't have 4 of me's because it'll be fucking carnage. Yeah. And I can't have four of George's because it'd be fucking boring. So, you know, but it's true. And that's why everyone implements what we're doing, and that's why we grow. But I would say, you know, going back to what we're going to have planned in futures next year is you know, a mixture of things. One, the corporate image of what we're looking to do in the UK and then in the US, and that route to live is going to be, we're waiting to sign a contract this side of the year. Once that contract's signed, it's huge.
And that's what I see as
we'll be the first prop firm to do it. So like,
and that's what I want. That's our corporate image, because then you're right. Then that
that's
leaves
the
room for all the fun that you want.
I can be the jester, but the good news is the jesters are working with the other keys, which are the corporate, the institutions, the institutional money, the investment. We've got all of that. Hence why Alpha Capital Group, just going to do a shout out. If you go over to Alpha Capital Group, you will be able to get a free 5K evaluation this year. 50,000 are being given away today. And me and Ben did speak about giving, was about 10 or 20,000 free Alpha Futures accounts away. But I think the time's not right yet. But watch out, end of Q1. I'm not going to put a promise on it, but we might do a 20, 30,000 Alpha Futures giveaway. But yeah, I think, so yeah, watch that space. I'm going to be a lot more involved. Planty's going to be there. Pep's going to be there. Ben has to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then my other two business partners, George and Drew, when they've stopped, going out for Christmas dinners and stuff, then
They might join
come
us
and
as
join
well.
us as well. Alpha Futures and Alpha Cap have launched, and I'm going to say this again, so I think it's really important to say this. So today we've announced the launch of our merch store. So if you'd like any, do a little spin for me. If you like any of this merchandise, I would suggest though, if you're normally a medium, you get a large. But this has been a long time coming, 3 years for Alpha. And the reason for that is that we always had a vision to work with a charity across both businesses. And the charity that we've chosen today out the hat is a charity called Mentality. And it's all mental health. So I'm sure a lot of people have around this table, me being one of them, advocate for it because I struggled with it for many years. And other people that I know, family members, I don't know if anyone else has got something like that in their family, but people have struggled with it. There's probably people watching this now that have struggled with it. There is help out there. We have launched a charity. We'll be doing a lot of stuff, not just for the merch. All profits go to Mentality for every purchase that you've got. So that's a great thing to do.
Massively.
We can give back.
The trading side of things.
Well, that's why
But
it's the
natural
trading
fit, isn't it?
side. It's life in general. It's a lonely world out there, but there is help. So you are putting towards that. And Alpha Futures and Alpha Capital will be doing a lot more stuff. I've got something planned for the new year, which I'll talk to you about, which I talked to someone about today, to help that charity. And I'm going to do an interview with the guy that owns a charity, because we put loads of information out there, and we did a pick it out the hat, and we chose Mentality today. So it's going to be an opportunity. So if you are buying this year, Christmas time, do remember, Christmas time is a really hard time for some people, and suicide for men is through the roof at Christmas. So it'll be great to pick up a T-shirt, pick up a jumper. Don't be tight. Get your money out. Dollars, pounds, crypto, we take it all. And yeah, purchase a top and show your support. Would be greatly appreciated.